This thing is really heavy. I think it weighs nearly 35 kilograms. This is really big. I know I'm late to the game with this Mac Pro, but it's taken me over a year just to convince myself that I actually want one and I can afford one. And at the end of this video, I'm going to explain to you how much this cost and why it was affordable for the work that I'm doing. In the meantime, let's open this. It's so cold, it's wet with condensation. So as soon as we open the box, we're greeted with obviously the computer, and then we've got a few things on either side. So we're gonna have a look, but first I need to take the computer out. Here we have the rest of the box. We've got keyboard. We're gonna have a look at that in a second. We've got other wires and stuff. And then at the bottom, we have got the power cable, which is quite nice, like a braided kind of cable. And then we have the booklet, which is a fancy booklet. It's like a proper book. Never seen that before in an Apple product. And of course we have Apple stickers, I think. Do we? No, we do. There's no Apple stickers. There are Apple stickers. Which I can't seem to get out. There you go. I don't know why YouTubers make such a big deal about Apple stickers though. I've never used one, and I don't know what anyone would ever use one for. Where are you putting an Apple sticker? The next thing we have here is we have the keyboard, which I believe is the black version, black and grey, which is kind of like, it's a shame. I wish they'd give you the option to choose between this and then the space grey one that you get with the iMac Pro, but it's quite nice actually. It's quite nice. And then in this one, I assume it's going to be the mouse then, right? That makes the most sense, doesn't it? So here we have, oh, I didn't get the mouse, that's right. I got the trackpad, so trackpad. Again, it'd be cool if it was the space grey one, but to be honest, this is completely blacked out, which is very nice. It's like a matte black, that's nice. Compared to the white one, which is what I've currently got. Which one do you prefer? Let's have a look at the actual computer. The specs of this particular model was the 3.3 GHz 12 core Intel Xeon W processor. Then it's got 32 gigabytes of RAM. However, I've got 64 gigs that I'm going to be putting in that I bought from Mr. Memory. Video is not sponsored. Obviously, I've got like 150 subscribers. And then I went for 256 gigabytes of SSD storage. And for the graphics card, I went with the W5700X with 16 gigabytes of GDDR6 memory. And then I went for the trackpad and the normal feet. I did not spend all of that extra money on the wheels. So in terms of the machine, it's built fantastically. I mean, I know this cheese grating thing got a lot of stick for what it looks like, but actually it's really, really smart for airflow. And when we take the top off, you're gonna see that. And it's got it at the back as well. The ports we have at the back are 4 USB-C ports, or 6 USB-C ports actually, which is amazing. I did not know there were going to be 4 at the bottom. An HDMI port, but I thought there'd be 2. And then 2 USB ports. So hopefully that should be enough, and there's a further 2 USB-C ports at the top. So in terms of opening this thing, it's quite straightforward. You lift, you twist, and then you pull. This is what the inside looks like. Now, I don't know if you can quite grasp on camera the level of quality, the level of detail that's gone into every single part, from the screws to everything. And I can compare this with the original Mac 5.1, which is this one. It's heavy. Oh my gosh. Right, comparing it with this one, we can see a huge bump in quality of materials. Like, obviously, I still think it's overpriced, and I don't understand how they come up with their prices, but I do understand why it's on the premium side versus the cheaper side. So I'm going to put this one away because it's a mess. What's absolutely mental about this machine is you can actually spec this to 28 core, 2.5 gigahertz, 1.5 terabytes of RAM. It's mental. You can go for 2 Radeon Pro Vega 2 Duos with 2x32 gig of HBM2 memory, and then you can do an 8 terabyte SSD storage. Now, that costs a whopping £50,899, which is utterly ludicrous considering what you can get for with a PC with those similar kind of specs. But that just seems absolutely mad that they're selling a machine for that. But I did not spend anywhere near that amount of money, and I'm going to explain to you at the end exactly how much I spent and why I spent that amount of money. Now, the main reason why I got this was because of its upgradability. So I know Apple's coming out with all of their M1, M2, M1X, all these new chips that are going to be coming out in the next year. Especially, they're probably going to be making a Mac Pro version and maybe even a more condensed Mac Pro version. But I wanted to buy something that I knew would be fully upgradable. I can change the CPU, I can change the graphics card, I can change the RAM over here. I can change pretty much anything. I can add more storage. So I wanted to be able to add anything and everything to the machine. And with the new Apple Silicon Macs, who knows what they're going to allow you to do, because it's all going to be done by them. So will you be able to upgrade everything as easily as you can upgrade everything on this? Probably not, but who knows? But either way, I thought going for something Intel that I could upgrade over time would be the best thing to do, really. Another thing which I really do like about the design is these fans, which look absolutely mental, right? They can keep this machine almost silent, which for someone who edits video and has a mic right next to them at all times, having silent fans is definitely nice, because I know I've done a whole bunch of videos with my laptop where the fan's been going crazy, and you can clearly hear that in the video. So how am I going to use this machine? Because it's clearly overkill for me. It's an absolute beast of a machine, and quite honestly, I don't know how to fully use it. So I'm going to be using it for my video editing, my photo editing, general use of the computer. And the reason why I wanted to get something like this was because I just wanted something that had no hiccups, that would work smoothly. And it means I can kind of take my videos to a level that I wasn't able to do before. Just based on the graphics card and the RAM alone, I'm going to be able to do a lot more tasks and a lot more intense tasks for this graphics card, and hopefully for the CPU as well. Obviously, I know the most important thing when it comes to creating videos is your creativity and your skill level. You can have the best cameras and the best computers and your videos can be absolute crap, and I'm a true believer of that. But I think where I'm at now, if I had a better computer, I'd be able to work more efficiently and be able to produce better videos. And that's kind of what I want to do. Okay. I know this machine is totally overkill for me. It was made for high-level filmmakers or high-level videographers or high-level YouTubers of some sort. I don't even know if YouTubers would fit in this world. So I do agree it's slightly overkill. However, up until this point, I've been using a MacBook Pro 2017, and I've tested out a whole bunch of different computers. The iMac Pro, a custom-built PC, which I used for 3 years, and most recently, I've been using this MacBook Pro, and it's been impossible. It's been absolutely impossible to do basic tasks with it throughout the day. I'm using a computer for maybe 8 to 9 hours a day, even more sometimes, and just working it like crazy, which is why I decided to invest in this based on the amount of time it's going to save. And if you're wondering why I got rid of my PC, why I don't use that PC anymore, is I love the PC for using Premiere Pro and Photoshop and the software, but the actual Windows OS I hated so much. It was absolutely terrible, and I know a lot of comments might disagree with me, which is completely fine. But me personally, I could not get to grips with Windows, and I used to use Windows. My whole life growing up, I used Windows. And I hated it. I absolutely hated it. For example, with Apple, the simple thing of AirDrop is the best thing ever. Being able to shoot bits of video on my phone, AirDrop it onto my computer, have stuff on my iPad, AirDrop it onto my computer, have the files synced across all so I can do a podcast on my iPad and it's on my computer. It just makes life easier, it makes things faster, and at the end of the day, I'm trying to be as efficient as possible. So, what is the price tag for this machine that I spec'd? This one is £7,099. However, I didn't pay £7,099 for it because that is a bit ludicrous. We have to take into account this is very much a business expense, which means it's tax deductible at £1,276, which is going to be very good. Another thing is there's also VAT of £1,120 on this machine, and if you're VAT registered, you're able to claim that back. And as well as that, Apple also do a 6% discount if you buy through a business, which ended up being a further £429, meaning the total came to £4,274. And I know that is still a ridiculous amount of money for a machine, but it's getting a lot closer to that of a custom-built PC. I remember my custom-built PC a couple of years back cost me over £3,000. So it's kind of very, very similar in that sense. Now, I know this is really expensive, it's crazily expensive, which is why I looked at this price from a different approach, and that's the approach I want to share with you today. So as well as an unboxing, I'm gonna do some form of business advice because I do have a business channel, so why not pass some of that information onto this tech channel? So for me, I was overworking my laptop to a point where it just wasn't functioning properly, and I actually calculated that I was wasting around 7 hours a week using that laptop, waiting for things to export, waiting for things to load, waiting for multiple tabs to open, for programs to open, all these different factors I was considering. That ended up being around 364 hours a year of wasted time. But again, that doesn't really mean anything. Now let's figure out what 364 hours is actually worth. So based on an income of 100,000 a year, which is from multiple different sources, and if you want to learn more about that, you could have a look at my tech channel. That's 10 hours of work a day, which means 2,610 hours of work a year based on 261 working days. That means on average, I'm earning around £38.31 an hour, which is probably what, $50 or something? Meaning 364 wasted hours is theoretically costing me £13,944.84, which is more than 3 times the cost of this machine, which is just ridiculous. Now, of course, some years it's less than 100 grand, some years it's more than 100 grand, but I'm basing it on what's happening in the here and now. So theoretically, if I could use this machine with all of those wasted hours, this should pay for itself in the first 3 months of ownership. Thank you so much for watching this slightly strange unboxing and more of a video where I'm reasoning with myself why it was a good idea to buy this. Either way, I really appreciate all the comments, all the likes, and anyone who has subscribed. This is a really small channel and I'm really trying to grow. Hopefully, I'll be able to bring you tons of awesome content, some Tesla videos, some more tech videos, who knows? But either way, I just want to say a massive thank you so much for watching. Please subscribe if you like any of this content, and hopefully I'll see you in the next video.